to look at right now is kind of a hodgepodge of things. Got a couple new vocabulary things we need to talk about, but then the main focus is going to be looking at some angle word problems and figuring out the measures of some angles. I would highly recommend when we get to those word problems that you draw a picture, but I'll walk you through that. Two new vocabulary things we need to talk about are vertical angles and linear pairs. Vertical angles get their name because they share a vertex. So in this picture here, you have two sets of vertical angles. Angle 1 and angle 3 are both vertical angles. I always think of vertical angles as being kind of across from each other. They both have a vertex right here. Angle 2 and 4 are also a set of vertical angles. And when you have vertical angles, they're going to have the same measure. We'll come back to this idea a lot later on, but for now I just want you to know what vertical angles are and be able to find them. The other thing we need to talk about today are linear pairs. A linear pair is something like this, where you have two angles that together make a straight line. Another thing you could say about angle 5 and 6, not just that they're a linear pair, you could also say that they are supplementary because they add up to 180. Like I said, the main focus for today is going to be looking at a word problem, figuring out some missing information. So, two angles form a linear pair. That means we're going to have two angles that together make a straight line. The measure of one angle is 1/2 times the measure of the other angle. So your picture does not need to be perfect, something like that. Did they give us any angle measurements at all? No, they just told us that one is 1/2 times the other. So what we can do is we can call the bigger angle x degrees, then the smaller angle is 1/2 of that, so we can call that 1/2 x. Our goal here is to find the measures of both angles. Since they form a linear pair, we know that they're going to add up to 180 degrees. So whatever the measure of this angle is, so x degrees, plus this angle, which is 1/2 x degrees, is going to add up to 180 degrees. Now, remember that when you don't have a number in front of x, it's like a 1. So 1 plus 1/2 x, you can think as 3/2x, you can think as 1.5x, whatever makes you happy. From here, we need to solve this equation. So we're going to divide 180 by 1.5. We get that x equals 120 degrees when we do that. So that means the big angle is 120 degrees. To find the small angle, that angle is 1/2 x. So 1/2 x equals 1/2 times 120. So we get 60 degrees for that angle. So if you want to write this out in words, make your answer look really formal. The measures of the two angles are 120 degrees and 60 degrees. Since they didn't give us angle names like angle 1, angle 2, angle ABC, etc., we don't have to do that here. So our two angles are 120 and 60. If you wanted to confirm, 120 plus 60 gives us 180, which is what we were after. One more. The measure of an angle is 8 times the measure of its complement. So we need to start with that word complement. So this was in the last video. When we were talking about angles that are complementary, they add up to 90 degrees. So picture-wise, I'm going to start by making a right angle. There we go. And then we have one angle being 8 times the measure of the other angle. So not going to be to scale really. I'll call one of my angles x. The other angle is 8 times that, so 8x. Going by what we see in the picture and what we know in the words, those two angles, by the angle addition postulate, since they are complements of each other, they need to add up to 90 degrees. Now we need to solve that equation. 8x plus x gives us 9x. And then when we solve that for x, we get x equals 10. So my angle x is 10 degrees, which that one's done. To find the other angle, I need to do 8x, which is 8 times 10, which is 80. So my other angle is 80 degrees. So once again, if you want to be fancy and write this out in a sentence, the measures of the two angles are 80 degrees and 10 degrees. And that's all that we are after today. So hopefully now you're feeling comfortable with all these different angle words, complement, supplement, vertical angles, linear pairs. We'll keep building on this, but hopefully now you feel like you've got the basics. Have a fantastic day.